Welcome to Oracle of Confidence. There's an invisible income stream available to almost everyone right now, and most people walk past it every single day like it doesn't exist. It's not cryptocurrency. It's not dropshipping. It's not even cryptocurrency. It's something far simpler, far more reliable, and far more powerful than any of those trending wealth strategies. In fact, people are literally making $2,000 to $8,000 monthly from this hidden income stream, and almost nobody talks about it, because once you understand it, the entire wealth-building paradigm shifts. You realize that your time, your expertise, and your existing knowledge are worth far more than you've been paid to access them. Meet Beth, 31 years old, works in marketing. Salary: $58,000 annually, financially responsible, emotionally exhausted by the ceiling. Beth knows that corporate promotions are limited, knows that raises max out at 3% annually, knows that the entire financial system is designed so you trade increasing amounts of time for decreasing marginal returns. But Beth didn't have the courage to leave, didn't have a clear alternative. So Beth lived in quiet desperation. Stable paycheck, zero financial freedom, zero hope that anything would change. You've felt this. The helplessness of being trapped in an income ceiling you can clearly see but can't break through. The suffocation of knowing you're capable of more but having no pathway to access it. Beth tried the entrepreneurship route everyone recommends, created a passive income course, spent months building the course, creating landing pages, filming lessons, launched it, sold 3 copies, made $90, spent $1,200 in ads and tools, lost money, lost motivation, lost hope. What went wrong? Beth was trying to package expertise into a product before validating that anyone actually wanted to buy it. This is the most common failure: building solutions for problems nobody has, or building them for people who can't afford them. Beth learned a painful lesson. Entrepreneurship without market validation is just an expensive hobby. Shifted strategy. Beth tried the side hustle approach, started freelancing on Upwork, bidding for marketing projects, underpriced massively because of imposter syndrome. I shouldn't charge real rates, I'm just starting. Won projects, worked nights and weekends, made $800 monthly while burning out. But here's the devastating part. Beth's time became even more scarce than before. Day job energy depleted, side hustle energy depleted, relationships suffered, health suffered. The strategy was supposed to be about freedom, but actually created more prison. Beth learned, trading time for money at a slightly higher rate is just a slightly better trap. The ceiling simply shifted higher, not disappeared. Beth gave up on entrepreneurship entirely. I'm not meant for this, Beth thought. Some people are business people. I'm just an employee. This belief, this single devastating belief, locked Beth into the employee trap for 5 more years. Watched friends build businesses, watched them struggle and fail, felt validated in the giving up decision, but also felt the slow death of potential, dreams, and financial possibility. This failure wasn't about execution. It was about identity. Beth had decided, I'm not a wealth builder, and that identity became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Most people die with this same failure buried in their DNA. Everything changed when Beth discovered the system that changed everything. It wasn't a new idea. It was actually an old idea that nobody talks about anymore because it requires integrity, consistency, and patience. 3 things the quick-rich schemes promise to bypass. Beth discovered that the hidden income stream was already inside. Expertise, existing knowledge, solved problems, and the ability to teach others how to solve the same problems, but not through courses, not through side hustles, through something far more elegant and reliable, the value stacking protocol. Here's how Beth implemented it. Phase 1. Audit your existing knowledge. Week 1 to 2. Beth spent 2 weeks documenting everything she'd learned in 8 years of marketing. Not theory. Real, applied, battle-tested strategies that actually worked. Documented 15 different marketing strategies she'd used successfully. Documented the failures that taught the most valuable lessons. Created a list of problems I've solved and obstacles I've overcome. This wasn't about creating a product. It was about recognizing that your brain contains actual value worth $500 to $5,000 per hour when properly packaged. Phase 2. Identify your ideal student, week 3 to 4. Not everyone, not entrepreneurs. Beth got specific. Marketing managers at small B2B companies struggling with Facebook ads, the most specific possible target. Why? Because people who know exactly what they want pay premium prices for solutions. Beth identified that these managers faced a specific problem. Their ad spend wasn't converting, and they had nobody on their team who knew how to fix it. The problem was specific. The pain was real. The willingness to pay was high. Phase 3. Create a pilot program, week 5 to 8. Instead of building a course, Beth created a 6-week coaching program. Limited to 5 people. Price, $2,000 per person. Delivered via 1-hour weekly calls, plus email support. Total time commitment, 6 hours per week for 8 weeks. Total revenue, $10,000. Profit after minimal expenses, $9,400. But more importantly, proof of concept. Beth now knew that people would pay real money for this expertise. Phase 4. Systematize and scale, month 3 plus. Beth took the 6-week program and created a system. Quarterly cohorts, 5 students per cohort, $2,000 per student, 1 hour per week live instruction, automated email content, recorded lessons. Math. 5 students times $2,000 times 4 quarters annually equals $40,000 in additional annual income. Total time, 10 hours per week. And here's the magic. Once the system was built, each subsequent quarter required only the live calls and email support. The infrastructure was already created. This became Beth's hidden income stream. Within a year, Beth earned $48,000 from one program, an 83% boost to total income, $106,000. More importantly, her mindset shifted. She no longer felt capped, dependent on raises, or waiting for promotion. Beth was building value, helping students transform their businesses. The money was a byproduct. The real win was reclaiming agency, capability, and freedom. Lesson 1. The Value Stacking Framework. Your existing knowledge, solved problems, and personal breakthroughs are worth far more than you think. Most people undervalue their expertise because it feels normal to them. This expertise blindness keeps people poor. The process is simple. Identify one problem you've solved repeatedly. Document how you solved it. Then find a specific group with that same problem who want the solution. Charge 100 times what feels fair. Why? Because 80% will say no, but 20% will say yes and gladly pay to solve a specific problem. Your job isn't to convince everyone. It's to find the people willing to pay premium prices for expertise only you have, delivered through an approach only you've mastered. Lesson 2. The pilot program principle. Never build the full business before confirming people will pay. Beth's first mistake was creating the entire course up front. The winning approach was a pilot program, the smallest viable version with real students, real payments, and real results. In 6 weeks, a $2,000 time investment produced $10,000 in revenue, a 500% ROI, and undeniable market validation. Shifting from hoping people want this to having paying students changes everything. Confidence grows, commitment increases, and premium pricing becomes easier. The pilot removes doubt and replaces it with proof. Lesson 3. The cohort model for scalability. Instead of time-free products like courses, build services with limited cohorts. Products face heavy competition and low pricing, while cohorts create scarcity and support premium fees. Beth's model: 5 students per quarter at $2,000 each, 1 hour per week of live teaching, plus systematized content. Time required: 8 to 10 hours weekly. Annual revenue: $40,000. By comparison, selling 100 courses at $97 yields $9,700 and demands extensive marketing. The cohort model wins by pairing premium pricing with limited commitment and fostering real relationships that drive implementation and transformation. You're trading time for money in a system with a fixed ceiling. Your boss, industry, and company have already set your limits, but there's a hidden income stream available now. The expertise you've built, the problems you've solved, and the knowledge others would pay thousands to access. The system is simple, the execution clear, and the results proven. It requires one decision: stop thinking like an employee waiting for permission and start thinking like a value creator who defines their own worth. As Peter Drucker says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Subscribe to Oracle of Confidence for scaling frameworks and income multiplication systems. Comment below: I have value to share, and identify one problem you've solved that others desperately need. Within 30 days, you can have your first student and your first proof of concept. Stop trading time for money. Start stacking value.